I'm going to move on to our next presenter, who is Miley Lu Ching, the Executive Director of the nonprofit Hula Preservation Society. Thank you so much for being with us, Miley.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. And let me get this screen thing going. Okay, how's that? Can we all see it? Good, okay. All right, yes, thanks again for having me. HPS is 20 years old this year, and we had all these great plans, of course, and have had to, regroup. But we've been around for 20 years, and it all started because of this wonderful gal. She was my Hanai mom, and Auntie Nona Beamer was an educator herself, almost 40 years at Kamehameha, and countless workshops and programs throughout the private and public schools and community as well. So she had this desire to keep learning, never stop learning, and that's really what started our nonprofit. Because just sitting around this beautiful table one day, she just we were talking shop. We were sitting this is in Pahoa and in the forest, pre-Koki, so it was nice and quiet, and her lauhala mat on the table, and we were just talking hula. And she just said one day, I wonder what Uncle George thinks about that, or what he learned. And of course, she's talking about George Naope, the founder of the Merry Monarch. And, they were peers. And so that's kind of what set us off on our merry way 20 years ago. And so we started having these conversations, recording these conversations that she was having with her peers. And just, I was sitting on the floor, as you can see, and just taking it all in. And Gene Coyce was our videographer. And he still is, and she was 77 when we started this. So by around about 80, she's like, okay, it's kind of time for you guys to start doing your thing. And so Gene and I kept going, and that's Gene Coyce. He's done so much great video work here in Hawaii since the mid 70s. And so we were the younger ones, and we took over and just kept talking. And that formed the foundation of our library, which is the oral history collection. So you can see a variety of our elders we talk to here. They're mostly, well, I would say about half Kumuhula and Hula elders, so maybe longtime students, sons and daughters. They didn't necessarily teach, but the Hula was really integral in their lives. And so that's our basic collection, and I'll tell you in the different ways you can access that in a second. Some other large collections we have, of course, my mom's collection. That's her standing in front of her many boxes in our original archive in Kaneohe, and that's Kiao George on the bottom. She's our collections manager. And papers, my students sorting papers. We've been sorting papers for 20 years and still sorting, but that's just how it goes. It's endless. Another large collection we have is Ken Gerard. He passed away in 2011, but we had the pleasure of getting to know him in his twilight years, and he had an amazing collection. He started when he was 13 years old in 1931, and so he gifted that to us, and it consists of scrapbooks, photos, slides, recordings. Show you a little bit here. The bottom left of this picture is a scrapbook that he started when he was a teenager, and just collecting everything Hawaii. We have audio recordings of all different formats. We have textiles, gowns, hula attire, hula implements, you name it, we've probably got it. But the archive itself grew out of the oral histories because we got to be so peely with our kupuna that they then said, oh, well, here's some pictures, and here's my costumes, and here's my hula notes. And it just grew into an actual archive, which we didn't actually realize we were going to have when we started doing the oral histories. So in 2013, we actually established the formal HPS archive. But knowing that, we're tucked away in Kaneohe, and most of our people are not able to come physically to us, although we'd love to have people come, and we still do, even though we can't right now. We, pivoted to try to really get more things online in the last 5 years. And so I wanted to share with you for a few minutes just the different avenues you can pursue to find materials online right now. And we're constantly working on expanding that. So this is a look at, we're revamping our website. We finally got a grant to do that. So this is a look at our draft homepage, what it may look like. And that's coming. We still have a website now. It's just really outdated, but it still works and everything. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was the oral histories and historical video, which are streaming. And so those right now are on Vimeo, and you can access them anytime. So we have 4 channels. This is the address that you can access each of them, or you can go to them directly. Those addresses are also there. Namakua Mahalo Ia was a partnership with BYU Archive. these historical videos take you back to Renaissance decades. And so the people featured here are the teachers of the people that we interviewed. So it's a generation earlier. And it's them when they were being honored by BYU, and the name of the award was Namakua Mahaloia. So the videos up there are about 16 hours of material over a decade, and every video has a description, so you know who, what, you know, what they're doing, and it's all time marked and everything. So it's a good resource for people prior to when we even started, a whole generation earlier. Nakapuna Makamai are oral histories, including HPS edited videos, as well as other historical videos. So the one showing there on the thumbnail is Auntie Emma Sharp, who had passed away by the time we started HPS, but we were able to preserve some video of her that BYU had, and there's others like that in there, as well as video from our collection. And then you can access them directly on those addresses. Another important channel we've worked on is Iolani Luahine, and if you haven't heard of her, I mean, put it this way, there's 2 films made about hula in the 20th century, and she's featured in both of them. So if you want to talk about hula and pick one person, it's going to be Iolani Luahine. And so we had 3 partnerships to preserve long format pieces about her: the Hula Museum of Art, Tip Davis, filmmaker, and BYU again. And then those are the 3 long pieces. And then there's 10 oral history segments from our library that were of people who were close to her and knew her, and, you know, talking about her, because she was already passed away long before we started HPS. And then the final channel, which we're building, is Hula Ki'i, which is another beautiful form of communication and storytelling and hula. And it has to do with puppetry or becoming the ki'i yourself. And so it's very interesting, and not too many people know about it, which is why we are doing these projects on hula ki'i. But you can also just, you know, learn from watching these videos. So those are there anytime. The next avenue we've shared materials is through the Popkilo database, and I'm not sure if that's a known repository for research, but it's been a great way for us to share materials. So I captured the screen to show you all the different partners that they have, and there's quite a bit of materials on there. And then on our collection, I'm showing you here the sub-collections we have. So we didn't want to just lump everything under HPS, so we kind of divided it out so you had a sense of what we had on there. And HCH supported, you know, some of the work of getting this up here, some of the images up there, so we're always mahalo HCH for that. But these are mostly on Popkilo, is mostly paper materials, images. We also have some audio, but it's mostly kind of manuscript paper type materials overall. Now, if you look at the 3rd and 4th ones down, the finding aids, we had a grant to create finding aids for our oral histories and some of the public programs we did with our elders. So those are actually downloadable from Popkilo. And so we have 20 finding aids, and those are great ways to know what the kupuna talked about. So you can actually search on them, search on any kind of words, and there's also fields including, you know, location, subject, keywords. So it's a great way to do research. And then if you see something you want to look at more closely, maybe the full transcript, then you can contact us and we can provide those excerpts for you. We're working on getting our full transcripts out too, but it's still going to take us another year before we get those word-for-word transcripts up online. But anyway, the finding aids are there right now, and there's 20 elders and 10 public programs that we've done with the elders, and so those are on Popkilo. Another aspect that's accessible through our website now and will be in our new website is our catalog. So we're constantly, you know, trying to catalog all this material, and so we have this internal system, and we have the ability to mark certain records public, and so as we're able to process and get them ready, we mark them public. And so you can search our catalog for whatever we have marked public, which is only a few hundred things right now, but we're really working to build that as we go forward. So that's our online catalog. And last but not least is something we're currently building, but it will be, hopefully, we hope anyway, an important way for us to share materials. And it's our digital umeke, which is using Merkatu, if you're familiar with Merkatu. Online content management system and sharing. So we're building these collections with all kind of the pieces that are sort of here and there and everywhere right now with these different partners we have. But we feel like Merkatu would be a way for us to share by kupuna. So Auntie Nona would have her own collection, and it would contain video and pictures and transcripts and give you an idea of her holistically more than just looking at one thing or this thing. And that bunch of photos. So we're looking forward to debuting 5 kupuna collections in about a year from now on our website, accessible through our website, and that's our digital umeke. So that's basically where you can find things now or within the next year, and the first 3 are available now. And then the only other thing I wanted to share was we did some DVD projects, and I know DVDs aren't as used now, but we did actually create these DVDs from our oral history library and gave them freely to all the libraries for the private and public schools and public libraries and university and college. And so they're out there. I just don't know that you can access them right now, but they are in the libraries. The grant was first to create it and distribute it free to everybody. And so one is Ho'ohalia, which are 27 oral history segments from these 11 wonderful elders that we've worked with. And then Voices of Our Kupuna Was Alive program we did with these 3 wonderful kupuna. And so those should be in the libraries, but if you can't access it, just contact us and we'll figure something out for you. And the last DVD, which we didn't distribute statewide, but is available, is a Hawaiian Remit. It was kind of just such a different project. We didn't include it with oral histories, although it's full of oral history, but it's just so specific about this venue in New York City, which is a fabulous story. This has been shown on PBS Hawaii several times and whatnot, but we also have this in case you're interested in seeing it. And then basically, we're here for you. We get requests all the time for research, and we try now to do everything long distance. We have a researcher in Volcano we're working with, one in England. We're here to help share and support your inquiries and your research. So whatever we can do, the main thing is just contact us and we'll do our best to help. That's it.
Thank you so much, Miley. Wow, that's such rich archive that you just shared with us. That's amazing. Okay, we're trying.